to the show. This is The Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammer. Let's get on with the show with the news, the views, the reviews, and interviews. Making news this time around is Star Wars Starfighter has no news, which is sort of good news still because there's no badness, circulating the internet of whatever reason, story, look, why, when, how. Excuse me. But yeah, so there's no news, which is sort of the no news, which is good news thing at this point in time. It's untouched. Let's just wish something happened sooner than later. Anyway, to more news, Star Wars Celebration 2027. More tickets have not been released. More tickets have not even been promised to possibly be released. Merchandise is an offer to the ones who missed out on merchandise who the tickets did get sold to. This still stands as a catastrophic event. I know it's a third world problem, but my goodness, it's a psychological torment. I don't think Repop really understand what they were doing before, during, and so far after. They just need to present these tickets ASAP, but sending your disgust or your venting of why, when, how to them, and their email address is starwarscelebration@reedpop.com. Reed is REED pop.com. Again, Star Wars Celebration @reedpop.com. Anyway, to more news. If you're unable to get yourself to Star Wars Celebration, an event that's coming up in 2026, it's a little bit closer to call, but D23. D23 is a Disney event, not Star Wars event, a Disney event. It happens every couple of years. It's in Anaheim. It's on August 14, 15, and 16. And I think there could be a possible reveal of Starfighter, a big presentation. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the most poignant moment that we're going to get a beginning and a big reveal. I don't know if it's going to happen in July, which is a trailer against a major movie. I don't know. I mean, the only possibility would be Spider-Man, a brand new day at the beginning of that. That is a Starfighter preview at the beginning of in the trailer section of the movie, which is at the start. That is a possibility, but I think D23 is going to be the event they really officially handle. It's an official event. It's a presentation, and people will get excited because of the explanation that will probably come with the Starfighter presentation, which I'm sure is going to happen. I don't know it's going to happen, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Anyway, so that is the news. Let me just sip on some more Good Morning Goodness. I should just add, before I get into the views, in this next week, The Force Always will be a little bit less frequent due to some life admin I've got to attend to. So you may not get your regularity of this show during this week, maybe amount. I'm wishing to give you a review of Supergirl, which I'm pretty excited for. But it could be not the opening event. It just depends. I've got to just see what I can do this week. I've just a bit of life admin, and just to let you know. Anyway, let's now get into views. Views is usually my opinion view or a view idea I have for Star Wars in a story. I accept the story for what it is, as I keep saying, but that is true because the story of Star Wars is still good. And can be great. It depends on how you really want to look at it. To some of us out there, it is becoming and has become bad for a long time, but everyone is not the same. We all have our sort of opinions. So my viewpoint this time around is just going to centralize on Star Wars Celebration in 2027. You know, if Repop is watching or listening, which I'm sure they're not, they've just, you know, really got to come to the plate here. It is just, it seems like it's not going to work itself out, especially with those guys in releasing tickets to the tens, I'm sure tens of thousands who would take those tickets on. Creating that more room, I just think, you know, they've shot themselves in their own foot, and it is, it's going to be a really fun time for the people at Star Wars Celebration. But I'll tell you this, it will be the most congested, intense time in the Star Wars Celebration because of the area. The weather will be nice because it's the 50th anniversary, and because of this, you know, ticket fiasco thing. You know, just in standby lines alone, you will need to get there really early, which will cut out lots of time being in Star Wars Celebration. They will probably have security, you know, having you not line up earlier than 5 a.m. But, you know, what they, I'm sure, realize but cannot really monitor to an extent is a line before the line, you know, having the most closest point to get to the actual line, and that line will be on the outside areas of Star Wars Celebration. I think this is just, you know, it's going to be a great event, but I think it's going to be a really interesting event to see what happens. If it turns out to be good, I know that the people online watching this who never got tickets are just going to go through torment. So my view this time around is just Repop, get your act together. It's been weeks, almost actually over a month now, and nothing has happened. Your organization, I think, is a little bit more with the possibility of getting this done, but it just seems like they're not moving at all, which is, you know, detrimental to the fans, and I think they will feel the effect, especially closer or on or just after the event of Star Wars Celebration in 2027. I'm just wishing the best can happen out of all this. It's still to this day a devastation. Anyway, so now let's get into reviews. Reviews is something that I have in this room, or something I've seen. I am wishing to see Supergirl sometime later this week to give a review on that, but because of this life admin I've got at the moment during this central chunk of this week, it's going to really push if I get a one out there early or even one at all. I am excited for that one, but let's have a look at something that this technically in Australia, I know in Australia. Now, DVDs and Blu-rays have almost come to an end because of technology and stuff like that. But the last possible Star Wars DVD Blu-ray you could ever have got, and I got the steel copy of this, and every steel copy of Star Wars is always great with its art. The simple creativity is what really sells it to me. This is The Rise of Skywalker, which not many people like. Strangely enough, I enjoy it. I think it's good. But I understand the dislike and the dismay with people, but I enjoy it. It's not for everyone. There is a better conclusion to the Skywalker saga that I would have, but I accept the story for what it is. Anyway, let's just get right into this DVD. It came with a sort of, let me show you this. It's whether you love this or not, the actual Steelbook's presentation is really, really, really good. And if you look at the actual Steelbook, look at this. When you open it up, the actual poster, one of the posters for Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker, when you open it up, the whole poster is revealed on the outside part. It comes with all, these special features and stuff like that. This, as a DVD and as the movie itself, I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. That's for the presentation mainly, and partly the movie. I know that's gonna, torment a lot of people that I'm giving a movie that is greatly hated by Star Wars fans, but I'm one that actually enjoys it. Again, I would have done sort of things that were a bit different. I'm just trying to put this back together, my goodness. But anyway, look, that is The Rise of Skywalker, Steelbook, 8.5 out of 10 for that beautiful presentation. All the Steelbooks, especially 7, 8, and 9, were just greatly done with their artwork, just with a nice, simple way. As you can hear, my voice is a bit grainy at the moment, so I'm rocking some more Midichlorian pills, whatever they are. Anyway, so that's the review for that. So the next one is interviews. Interviews is usually my last video YouTube upload on YouTube, and the questions from that interviews can be anything else. Again, if I ever got an exclusive interview with George Lucas, he'll be here. Yeah, but anyway, but the interviews that are on my last YouTube video, I keep it to the YouTube rather than Instagram and X and Twitter and TikTok, because I don't really have them in a proper rotation thing at the moment. So I just make it simple and do it that way. So let's get into the interviews. Let me open it up. Okay, so the last one. So Michael from Werribee South, who loves the Force always, has sent in a number of questions. The first one of which is the ID lock solution. Why does Star Wars Celebration refuse to implement non-transferable ID lock ticketing system similar to San Diego Comic-Con? Is the lack of secure ticketing a sign of corporate negligence or a disregard for consumer protection? I don't know if it can actually be done now after the tickets have been sold. I don't know if it can be done. If it can be done, I think it should be implemented, but I don't know because of the sale of the tickets. Maybe some legality or technical issue. If it can be done after selling of the tickets, I'm sure it could possibly be done, but an ID lock solution is a very good idea, because lots of those multiple ticket buys, 20 tickets for one person, surely have seen the light of day to scalpers, which is going to cause a financial dilemma for those people buying, or if you're picking up and getting the actual ticket on the day or before the day, it's going to be a risky move, anyone buying those tickets. And I highly suggest make sure whatever that is, that you are going to get those tickets. If you have to meet the person there, but that means you have to get there and then possibly be dealt with not a person turning up, you've got to really it's a risky game. And personally, I'd rather not do this. I'd rather the tickets be on sale from the site by ReadPop, but ReadPop seem to be behind the times in not understanding what they should have done and what they still could do. Anyway, the next question from Michael from Werribee South. Werribee South, again, is a part of Melbourne. It's on the other side of Melbourne. The aftermath response. ReadPop and Lucasfilm stated they would track down unauthorized scalper listings to reclaim tickets. Does this feel like a genuine rescue operation for fans, or is it a reactive performative damage control strategy? I don't know if they are actually going to be active in looking for scalpers. I just, that's a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of money spent on doing that, when they could easily just delete somehow, and well, not delete, but to somehow have more tickets on sale, so the people who want to see the actual event without buying a Sculpt ticket will be actually buying a ticket from the organisation rather than the scalper. And the people who bought those 20 tickets, well, they better be going to their friends and family rather than the scalpers, because, then they'll be losing a lot of money, those possible scalpers. That's the only solution. The only real good, clear net solution is to have it put more tickets on sale before anything else gets announced. Because if you don't have a ticket, you can't even apply for panel reservations. You can't apply for photo ops. You can't apply for autograph ops. It's just a big spanner in the works if Repop does not get their act together. The next question from Michael from Where Was Out. The queue heartbreak. With fans saving money and planning for years, what long-term psychological impact does a 6-hour digital queue failure have on a fan's loyalty to the brand? Does it permanently sour their relationship with Star Wars? Well, I think people like myself who love Star Wars will always love Star Wars. I love movies, but especially I love Star Wars. I don't think the relationship will go down, but in the back of my mind, psychologically, the whole, the heartbreak on this queue it's still with me, and I'm sure it's still with many out there. And I don't think Repop really fathomed this, because if they fathomed this, they would have known to sell in an event that is properly, sized for the event, one, and they would have not have sold 20 tickets at a time, especially with no tracking code to them. And I think the heartbreak to the fans is quietly but massively out there, including myself. It's just unbelievable. Like, it's like, it's almost like now you pray that the event is really bad. You pray that the Starfighter thing, it causes you thoughts that shouldn't have to be there. But the anger, the frustration is so intense and embedded that it's just, but I do wish, to be honest, that Star Wars Celebration, the people at Star Wars Celebration and the presentations go really well. But I will say, Repop can go to hell if they keep somehow are going to keep organising this event. They just seem to fail, and I've had failures with them before, but mild failure, which I've discussed in the show, which I'm not going to go right into. But it's a massive failure. It's not what should be happening. Tens of thousands of fans, I'm sure it's tens of thousands of fans, that have missed out. Even if it's close to a 10,000 amount of fans, it's just a wrong economical choice that is still being made by Repop right now. Star Wars needs to take a stand on this, because, at the moment, the perception of Star Wars, whether I like it or not, or whether people like it or not, is not great. And this will just dampen it even worse with the hardcore Star Wars fans. Anyway, another question for Michael from Wembley South is, rewarding the wrong crowd by allowing bots to strip the inventory, will the physical crowd at the 2027 Los Angeles Convention Center lack the genuine organic passion of past celebrations? Will the show floor feel more corporate and less community driven? Look, it's going to be a special event. I don't think it's going to be any worse, any better. Well, I say better than past celebrations, as it's the 50th anniversary. It's an iconic event. I think the physical crowd will still be there, because LA is always busy. So, if there's tickets that are made available on the day at the front, which will be unbelievable, then it will still be packed. There will be still a lot of people there. Even in Japan was not not an American place where, you know, Star Wars and that was brought up on it, and yet it was still bustling with a lot of people, lots of people. Maybe not as much as I saw in Orlando, but still a lot, and it was a big size venue. So it just shows they are really coming to the plate, these Star Wars fans, including myself. Anyway, the next question from Michael Werby South: the streaming pivot, has this disaster inadvertently accelerated or fan detachment? If thousands of loyal fans are priced out or locked out by scalpers, will they permanently shift to just watching panel clips on social media, completely abandoning the community gathering aspect of the hobby? I don't know what will actually happen. I know that personally, it will be very hard to watch Star Wars Celebration on video when you know, it's like it's you know, it's just not going to be a happy place. I definitely will watch a Starfighter trailer if they have a new or it was the one. I'll definitely watch. I'll be very limited. I really don't. If I'm not there, I don't want to be in YouTube, especially giving points. Points on YouTube for this broadcast, but I do think it will still be a sizable event on YouTube. You know, by then the dislike of what's happening with the ticket fiasco would have been dead and buried, and people would just sort of be, you know, tuned to the energy of what's happening there, wishing that there's some interesting news out there. You know, I may also watch George Lucas give a speech, which I'm sure is going to happen. It's not actually announced yet, but I'm sure he's going to be there. But yeah, so, but there is definitely going to be a bit of an abandoning way from the Star Wars community, but in what way, I don't know. I'm not going to protest. I'm just not going to promote Star Wars Celebration in being a great event, being on the outside. I will definitely detail it from myself as being on the outside, and letting people know why I'm on the outside. And the why is read pop. In another way of putting it, you know, it's greed pop. They just really did not know how to. Anyway, I'm not going to go right into it. The final question from our interview section, which is coming from Michael from Werby South. The ID lock solution: why does Star Wars Celebration refuse to implement the non-transferable ID lock ticketing systems? So I think he's asked the yeah. So he has he's doubled up on the question. Michael from Werby South. I suppose coming from Werby South, you know, it's a bit of a Melbourne, Australia type of humour. Don't worry. Michael has asked the question twice. Obviously, I've given the answer to that. Anyway, so that is the show for the summer round. Please understand this week will be a little bit up and down, but I'm usually here 3 or 4 times a week. Subscribe to the channel The Force Ways. And until next time, my friends, keep rocking.